of the game. Football! The name of the game. Football! The name of the game.
Right here in our studio, I have Abhishek S. Mishra with me, and let's talk about football. Man, Chelsea. And Antonio Conte. And we are here to talk about a 3-5-2.
In the Premier League.
How happy are you with that system now?
I didn't think that system could work in the
especially in the Premier League.
Especially in the Premier League, because we've seen the likes of Everton try to pull it off under Roberto Martinez.
Yes.
When he would do it with Seamus Coleman and Phil Jagielka on the left. But even they would struggle with the big teams to go ahead. But the beautiful thing about Antonio Conte is he changes on the fly that we saw in this game.
As according to the situation inside the ground, so he can adapt.
And the freedom that he gets to play 3-5-2 is because of two people, and that's Kante and Nemanja Matic. Because
so the best buy is for this season is Kante.
Oh, it's the best. The best buy they've made since Didier Drogba.
Definitely, because I've seen the changes in the whole Chelsea team. The way Kante plays, the way he distributes the ball. Last year, Matic struggled. He was alone.
He was alone.
Defensive midfield, like attacking minded defensive midfield just like not just the one. Makelele was too much of a defensive midfield who would just sit back and destroy the other teams. These two players not just destroys other teams, they actually make passes to score goals.
To score the goals, because even with Kante is also a dribbler. Kante can dribble the ball and take it forward, which he did with Leicester as well. Because when he would break a play, he would initiate play.
He was the difference between the two teams at that particular game.
He's still the difference between the two teams now. And like you talked about Claude Makelele, I remember when Claude Makelele was sold from Real Madrid because the president said, "Oh, I don't want a side passer in my team." He went to Chelsea and they won back-to-back leagues, especially. So Claude Makelele and Tiskitio Morma, when other people came around, the defensive midfielders, then the likes of Xabi Alonso came, who could pass and break plays and stuff like that. But Kante is a proper player that can do what is asked of him. He can come back and he can break.
So he's a proper coach's player.
He's a coach's dream, of course, because that's what Ranieri said when they bought Kante. He said they bought two players.
Wow.
Chelsea has bought two players, not one player.
Not one player. So in this particular match, we saw a beautiful goal from Eriksen. Okay, that's fine. But the way Pedro scored and the way Victor Moses comes back, taps in a goal, a winner. So Pedro and Victor Moses, last year they were nowhere in the scene. And all of a sudden these players have gained even Hazard.
Even
so
Hazard.
these players have gained confidence.
I think last year the thing that came out from the Chelsea locker room and what people were trying to hear, when we hear things outside, it can always be hearsay and stuff, but he was losing the dressing room, was the thing that we heard for Jose Mourinho. But with Antonio Conte, he has so much passion. And you can see on the touchline, Pani, for little things, he has so much passion. And he's infused that passion into his players as well, just to feel on. And you see Eden Hazard, who's playing beautiful football, amazing football. And then the rebirth of Pedro. That Barca go Pedro.
I know. That
and he has so much quality that you saw with that little Johan Cruyff turn that he did, and he scored that goal. Beautiful.
And against Hugo Lloris, who is one of the best.
The best keepers, France number one keeper and stuff. And it's very nice to see Chelsea do so good, because it's good to see a different tactic work in the Premier League as well.
And let's talk about 3-5-2. Suruma jun dui game hare ni unarle. Were you a little bit skeptical about what unle safe side ma 4 नै खेलाइराथे त्यो work गर्दैन तपाईलाई लागिराथे त्यो?
I always thought Chelsea ko kasto थियो भने, judging by last season, at the end of the day, it depended on Costa, because that's the one big striker that they had, who is now the Premier League top scorer. And Costa was also very uncomfortable. And Costa's temperament is something that's always been brought into question. So the defenders start winding him up to get that yellow card, and then winding him up for the red card. This season, if you've noticed, Costa is a little more calm.
Even he's relaxed.
And he's a little more relaxed. And that comes from the 3-5-2. Because now he has people around him that can also score goals. All the burden is on him.
So the pressure alikati relief.
Exactly.
So yesterday on the final goal, I watched the clip, and Costaले left hand flank kudaera dieko pass ma nai Victor Mosesle goal gareko. So he knows his teammates can actually score.
So he knows, because he's the pivotal figure tesma pani, and when he goes forward, what he also has to do is basically start roaming around, and that's what he does. He lets Pedro come in, he lets Hazard come in. So he's holding up the ball well and doing very good. Very good.
Okay, so that was Chelsea. All right, so that was Liverpool beating Sunderland 2-0. Origi and James Milner with 2 goals. हामीलाई थाहा छ सन्डरल्यान्ड बटम अफ द टेबल 20 teams को यस प्रिमियर लिगमा दे आर एट द 20th place. But Premier League is an amazing league where every team can beat every team. 2-0 लिभरपुललाई केही खेलहरुमा गोलहरु गर्न निकै गाह्रो परिरहेको थियो.
Right.
This time finally अलिकति क्लब ह्यापी छन् होला.
Yeah, I think the sort of football that Klopp wants to play when he has a Firmino inside his club and now the main thing that he wants to infuse in the team is let's play good football. That's what you want to see. And sometimes in the Premier League, when you want to play good football, it's very easy to stop that, because
so your opponents can actually kind of like stop the beautiful game
because they have a set way of playing. Like the bottom clubs like Sunderland would depend on the physical play. For them, they have to stop the ball, they have to get it down, long balls, dead ball situation, but score garne. But Klopp, and he did this in Dortmund also. He taught them how to play attractive football and win the league and win the championships and stuff. Liverpool are the dark horses.
They are this season particularly.
Liverpool are the dark horses. I mean,
and what I can see is like last year, midway through Klopp आउन एकदम राम्रो लाग्यो के मलाई.
Yes.
किनभने now he's learned. How every other team, the team at the bottom of the table, team at the middle of the table, and team who are eyeing for the Champions League spot, how they play and how they approach big teams. Sunderland सँग यो गेममा Sunderland actually parked their whole team just to आफ्नो डी उसमै राखिदियो. So Klopp was not happy with that at all. He was criticizing the whole Sunderland team after the game. But now he can actually come up with few other tactics where he can score.
It's important that he adapts. It's because there is a situation where you have to play the long ball, like we saw with Conte's Chelsea. He adapted in the second half. It's very important that if you get these points, you know,
even when you are not playing good,
even if you play, a goal is a goal, a win is a win. Basically, at the end of the day, it's all about the 3 points. This is a marathon race.
Coutinho injury in this particular game. I think Coutinho is the pivotal point of Liverpool. Everything ticks around him. I don't think it's a serious injury. Injury लामो समय गयो भने, do you think it's going to hamper the team?
It will. It will, because Coutinho, you can't deny form. You know,
he's now considered the golden boy of Brazil.
Barca are looking at him. They say Barca is in his DNA and stuff. But you know, at the same time, it's very necessary that that Klopp recognizes that he has to shift, because usko play, when it started with Coutinho, he would distribute the ball, take out the passes, or dribble it himself. He's lost a very big lynch player in the middle. He has to now adapt and go, how do I completely utilize the Milners, the Firminos now? How do I use them? In what kind of tactics do I use it? Because Firmino, for everything, Firmino has a very good right foot. And on his day, Firmino can be an amazing player. Now is the chance where Firmino shines. Even when we saw last year, last time when Liverpool was doing well was when Suarez and when the likes of Sterling Gerrard were doing so well. Even when Sterling fell, the other
teams could pick up
the Sturridges and everybody basically came to the party. That's what they have to do now again.
Now, the other team which is actually challenging the title is obviously Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. They were up against Burnley. So Manchester City beats Burnley 2-1, and obviously Aguero scores. Aguero has 10 goals, Diego Costa has 10 goals. They are the top scorers in Premier League right now. Aguero नहुँदाखेरि, घाइते हुँदाखेरि, do you see Manchester City even challenging for the title?
No. Pep Guardiola, for all his astute signings and signing Nolito and signing all these great players, he has not signed
no replacement for Aguero.
He signed Gabriel Jesus, but he sent him back to Brazil on loan. But he's a young kid, of course. But you saw what Gabriel Jesus could do in the Olympics.
Yeah, we saw it.
He played so well in the Olympics. The thing is, what he has to do is, and he started to keep Aguero on the bench as well and start Iheanacho sometimes. And it's important. That kid is still young. I mean, he's been on very good form, but after a while,
winning a tough game is, you need experience, you need strength, you need that character.
You need that character to go, and Aguero has that in abundant quality. I think if you negate the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, if you negate the likes of Sterling, they suffer when there is no Aguero in front.
Pep Guardiola, I know, we all know how he plays, the style, and even the uni habi not just on the game style, the whole management में हावी हुने खालका प्रशिक्षक पनि हुन् अनि आफ्नो म्यानेजमेन्टमै उनले चाहेको कुरा गराउन सक्ने क्षमता पनि छ उनमा but he gives the results as well.
He does, but I have one very critical point about Pep Guardiola to say, because wherever he goes he wants to play the passing game. When he was at Bayern he's tried to do the same thing. And
he doesn't like to adapt to the situation.
And that suffered when they played against Tottenham Hotspur.
I've noticed that.
Because now John Stones is turning into Gerrard Piqué, who's a passer. John Stones cannot pass the ball.
He is not that guy.
No,
he's not naturally that guy.
He's not naturally that guy, and it's a shame that you are turning a 21-year-old, not letting him develop his own game and
making him someone else.
Tiki-taka, and he's not going to be a sweeper anytime soon for England.
So City has 30 points, Liverpool has 30 points, just 1 point above is Chelsea, right? So what I wanted to talk about was Toure coming back to the team. Yaya Toure.
Oh.
He did not have space at the beginning of the stage.
No.
Now he scores 2 goals last week and he's like playing really good again. Toure, I think if he comes back to a good form, they can challenge for the title.
Yaya Toure's biggest enemy is Yaya Toure.
He himself.
He himself.
Okay.
And his agent, basically.
Okay.
Yaya Toure is probably the best box-to-box midfielder I've ever seen in my life.
Especially in the Premier League.
Especially in the Premier League. That man is, I mean, sometimes you feel that his own attitude is letting him down, because even at plus, where he's pushing 33, 34, even at that age, he's probably the best player on the field. And that is saying something about his quality. He came out a few weeks ago where he apologized to the club and he apologized to the manager.
So
now
he
finally realized what he's doing, and it's important that he plays in and out, because he can leave a very good legacy at the end of the day. And it's important that he plays the games, because he could be the difference.
Because he is one of those players from Manchester City who came in and who built that team. He was the point. Like every time they needed someone to score, Yaya was there.
Exactly, and he's a big match player.
Yeah, he's a big match
player. He is a big match player. When you look at the whole of Manchester City squad, as important as the companies and the Agueros are, you're doing nothing without Yaya Toure in the team. Nothing without him.
Very true. Whenever we see Yaya Toure, I always remember Patrick Vieira, okay? And Arsenal heydays. My goodness, Henry,
the Invincibles.
Petit, Viola, Bergkamp, unbeatable team. Right? So Arsenal, they were up against Bournemouth. Yes, Arsenal are challenging for the title, but can they do it? It's a big question mark all the time. So Arsenal against Bournemouth, let's watch it. Arsenal beats Bournemouth 3-1. Sanchez with 2 goals, Walcott with 1. Arsenal, कुन टीम मैदानमा छिर्छ हामीलाई कहिले पनि थाहा हुँदैन. Why is it always happening?
Because Arsenal don't have an identity. Because
Arsenal fans must be really hating you.
Oh yeah, well I'll give you a bet right now. Arsenal won't win the league with this team.
Oh my God.
And it's the fact that because we followed Arsenal for nearly 20 years, honestly, and we've seen the Invincibles. And then we saw their move from Highbury to Emirates Stadium when they moved in. And now Arsene Wenger is an amazing coach. He is an amazing tactician. But he tries to be the accountant too much sometimes, because even the fans can see the difference is that one player that you need, that one Benzema, one Higuain that you just need in your team.
त्यो बेन्चमा हुनेको स्ट्रेन्थ र प्लेइङ 11 मा हुने स्ट्रेन्थको मा त्यो 1920 को त्यो एउटा सानो अन्तर छ नि. त्यो अन्तर maybe he doesn't realize कि
how do we say that to him? He is a world class coach. You know, what do you say to him? Yeah, we feel like bitter fans when we say that. But the thing is, at the same time, that team has Ozil. That team still has Alexis Sanchez. I hope Aaron Ramsey comes back, because he is actually a very good player, and he was very good for the Welsh team in the Euros as well. The only problem I have with Arsenal is you cannot win the league with Olivier Giroud. You cannot win the league with him.
You need another one as well.
For all states and matters, Theo Walcott is not a number 9, first of all. Oxlade-Chamberlain is more of a number 9 than Theo Walcott. And every time Oxlade-Chamberlain has come from the bench, he's made an impact in the game. And what Arsene Wenger has this tendency of using young, blitzy player when the game starts getting tired to get that counter goal. But at the same time, you need to start your powerful players, your strongest player on the field as well. I still think if Arsene Wenger is smart, he will dip into the January transfer window and he will get a striker. And he keeps saying there are no strikers available. Well, you've built a very good stadium. You've made a lot of money. It's time you use that money.
Now it's time to buy.
Yeah, it's time to buy.
Time to buy. All right. So that was Arsenal. Now, we're coming to the main game of this particular episode. It is Leicester, that's my team, and it is Leicester versus Middlesbrough, that's Abhishek's team. So, Leicester versus Middlesbrough, let's watch it. Alright, so that was all equal, and I was like, oh my god, are we going to lose that game? But now, finally, you must be really upset. And you must be the only Middlesbrough fan in Nepal.
Well, when I cheer, it echoes. Well, I mean, yeah, I've been a fan ever since the Premiership started here.
Nice,
I don't know why I like that club. As soon as I saw them on TV, I knew that's my club. I don't know where it came from.
You just felt it.
I just felt it.
Wow.
And talking about, I think Aitor Karanka has done a very good job. I think post Steve McLaren.
Particularly coming up from like the championship.
Exactly.
And they were struggling for such long years.
So, I mean, we had Tony Mowbray came in, Gareth Southgate tried.
They tried everyone actually.
They tried everyone. And it was so hard to get somebody who understood and how they could go take that next step and come to the Premiership level. Aitor Karanka is somebody who has the pedigree. He's been the assistant manager at Real Madrid as well with Jose Mourinho. So it's the signings that he makes, the Patrick Bamfords that he signed from Chelsea on loan that created that sort of buzz. Now also
Negredo coming back.
Negredo coming back. And he's the guy. Negredo was amazing in Man City. He didn't get the chance because he was playing second fiddle to Sergio Aguero. But look at the goals he scored.
I know.
Look at the goals he scored.
The confidence in him.
The confidence in him.
Right? It's making a difference. And in Middlesbrough, we always remember the heydays when like Mandieta used to play, Juninho used to play. Boro ma, Manchester City, Manchester United, Boro ma gaera खेल्दा जित्न सक्छ भन्ने लाग्थ्यो क्या हामीलाई हैन त्यस्तो थियो हैन but now finally they are back and you should be really happy.
Very happy. I mean, I remember when they made it to the Euro Cups at that time. The Euro Cup was very heavily contested, and they went to the finals, and they got beat by Sevilla, a Sevilla that had Dani Alves.
Dani Alves
was in Sevilla at that time. That's the next season he moved. But they've always been a team that have had good showings, and when given a chance, they can beat any. And you can see this term as well. They drew with Arsenal at the Emirates. They drew with Man City at the Etihad. They almost nicked a point of Chelsea. Lost 1-0. They lost only 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. So the main problem that Middlesbrough has is if Negredo is negated, they don't have a goal scorer. That's the main point. Same problem with Man City, same problem with Middlesbrough at the moment.
Now the problem with Leicester City is Kante.
It is. I know.
He was the difference when they won the cup, the whole championship last year. Now, there's a big hole.
And it showed in the game as well because we were playing at away to Leicester, and you could feel that Middlesbrough was dictating too much of the game. They had 59% of the possession. They had 2-3. The shots were more on target by Leicester City, but they were like they would go out of the game and then they would be energized. Riyad Mahrez, when he made that small flick, and then Okazaki, when he made the short attempts at goal, they would wake up at points and then go back to sleep. And I am very, very scared about Vardy.
I am very scared. As I was just about to talk, like he was in such a big hype, and everything was clicking, and it was happening all for him. But this time around, he's finding it hard. Maybe his confidence is a little bit low, and it might take few other players to really, I think, feed him, bring back the confidence. I think he needs more players to give him confidence.
There's one very amazing stat that I came across, and that is the fact that Riyad Mahrez has only found Jamie Vardy 4 times in the last games.
My goodness.
In the last 9 games, he's found Jamie Vardy only 4 times.
Last year,
they found each other all the time.
All the time.
And that's the thing. And it all comes back to N'Golo Kante. It's because you need some guy who breaks up the play
and connects the whole thing.
And who connects the whole thing. Vardy still has the class, he still has the quality, he can still score goals for fun. The only thing right now is Ahmed Musa, the player that they've signed, and Riyad Mahrez and Slimani, the players that they have. Slimani did well when he came in also, damn him.
There you go.
There you go, that's banter right there. They still have a very good squad, and you only have to look as far as Wednesdays in Champions League.
Yes.
They're playing the most contrarian football in the history of football.
So
this is like Liverpool going to Istanbul and they're not even making Champions League in the Premier League. But there is confidence there. There is a lot of quality there. The only thing that they need to do is Premier League, people know how to play against them. In continental football, they don't know yet how to play against them.
They didn't know.
They didn't know how to play them yet. I want to see Leicester City play Barcelona, or I want to see Leicester City play Real Madrid at the Bernabeu.
I wish them all the luck, man. I wish them all the
And
luck.
I want Leicester City to beat them. I do,
Wow.
even as a Middlesbrough fan.
Let's see.
Yeah.
All right. So this particular week, the big announcement was Steven Gerrard's retirement.
Yes.
How highly do you rate Steven Gerrard?
I rate him very, very highly. For my generation, we've seen Steven Gerrard grow up in front of our eyes.
Okay.
That young boy with the Khelbazzar Banglang Pareko jersey, those
With a
short,
very short hair.
very short hair.
He didn't care about anything, just the game.
Yeah, just the game. Short-tempered at the same time.
Yeah.
But the long shots, and again, a big match player, like we talked about here today.
The 11.
There has never been a big match player like Steven Gerrard. Yeah, people talk about his slip and when everything happens.
Just one cup eluded
Just
him.
one cup eluded him all his life. But at the same time, he leaves a legacy.
Right,
He
he
leaves a
does.
legacy.
So, people, Steven Gerrard, he retired from the game, and let's take a look back at some of his amazing. All right, that was Steven Gerrard for you, Abhishek. Thank you so much for coming. And at the very end, who do you pick is going to win the Premier League?
Oh wow, I'm on the spot now. To be very, very, very honest, I would still take Man City.
Still Man City.
Yeah, I would, because
They have the depth in the squad?
the only thing is now is they have unlimited pockets, and if Pep Guardiola recognizes that, the January transfer window is about to come up.
Okay. Only if Pep realizes.
Only if Pep realizes, and he's a smart coach.
Okay.
The only thing is now he has to keep Aguero fit, and now Yaya Toure is back in the team.
Cool.
That may mean the difference at May.
Are you going to ask me the same question?
I will. And you cancel Leicester.
I'm not going to say Leicester. Leicester, I knew, okay, last year they did win. I knew they were going to struggle this year because they had to balance between Champions League and this, and they don't have the depth in the squad. This season, I think, my calculation, I believe a team which has the biggest impact in the midfield wins the league. And I think Chelsea has that. So they not only have in that particular 11, they have it in the bench as well. So I believe it's going to be Chelsea. I say. So it's Man City and Chelsea.
I'll see you at May.
Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thanks so much.
The name of the game. The name of the game.